Hello, thank you for joining me today. Thank you very much, everybody. This is Jimmy with NZE Live Show. Anyway, today we're going to be discussing a very interesting and a very important topic. And before we go forward, I would like to welcome everybody, those who want to join the show. Um, I'll be calling out those on my WhatsApp page of Nize Foundation WhatsApp page. If you want to join with Nize Foundation WhatsApp page, you can follow us on Facebook. You can also try to find our number direct and you call us direct on Nize. And that is our email, that is our phone number, just that you get connected. So today we'll be talking of Dominic Ongwen. Dominic Ongwen, he was one of the rebel leader of the LRA, that is a Lord Resistance Army. So anyway, let me try bringing in those in WhatsApp, and if they are connected, they will be able to join. For those who want to join, please let me know who is on, who is coming. Just that I call the number direct because I can just pick a few to join. Let me see. Who is coming in? Who is coming in? Who is coming in? I'm trying to pick the number. You can text me too if you are coming in. You can text me just that I pick your number from the list and I call you direct to the chat. And we are almost there. We're almost there. Okay. Let me try bringing these three people in. See if they can come in and join us here. But anyway, before we wait for them to come join, I can start like this. So Dominic Ongwen, he was one of the victims in the beginning. Dominic Ongwen, he was abducted from his way to school back in 1987. That's when Dominic Ongwen was abducted by the Lord Resistance Army. So now Dominic Ongwen rose into power with the LRA very quick. And everybody is like asking themselves, how did he do it? How did he get up there that fast? He was one of the ruthless commander known in the let's see, Lar Presley is coming in. Lar Presley is trying to get into the show. Let's welcome Priscilla. Priscilla, good evening. Hello. Hello. Hello, Priscilla. Can you hear me? You're very loud. You're very clear. I can hear you. Hear you. Hello. Okay. As you said, there are, let's move forward. Anyway, Priscilla, you're clear. I can see your connection is very strong as well. So when you're ready, we can continue. So I was talking
Yes.
of, hey, how are you doing? Let's get one person here on WhatsApp. He's coming live from Uganda as well. That is Xavier Francis. Francis, how are you? Hello. Anyway, he's also trying to connect his connection. Just that he joined us live here. So anyway, as we continue, let's talk of how did Dominic Ongwen rise into power in just a rapid pace. He was abducted while he was 9 years old. So imagine a 9 years old boy got grabbed on the way to school and thrown into a different environment where his life depends on what he do, and he should do with anything they tells him to do in order to survive. And in a short period of time, after he learned all the tactic, everything he supposed to, he started getting up on the
That's
steps. Hello? Hello? Okay. Save, can you hear me? He's trying so hard to get in. He's trying so hard to get in. Today is a very interesting topic. We need to discuss this together. Just so we hear your opinion. What are your thoughts on Dominic Ongwen's abduction and him being prosecuted as one of the top commander in LRA, Lord Resistance Army? Now, he rose to power really quick. That is a fact. Due to his ruthless and merciful deed. Now, if you've been abducted and taught how to do certain things certain ways, I still believe that you had to do what you should to survive. But after somebody has gained consciousness, has grown older, you also have to be responsible for what you do. Because if he was to do something wrong against the LRA, he was going to be punished. He knows not to do something wrong on the other side, but he did a lot of terrible things um, to the people. Now, as we are trying to move forward, let me play you the video of what the ICC convicted Dominic Ongwen of. So, give me a second here. I'll get that video right away here for you guys. Try to bear with me just a sec. Okay, here is the video of Dominic Ongwen cases.
Compromising both crimes against humanity and war crimes. To try to sum up in a few words the lengthy and technical verdict rendered by the Chamber, Dominic Ongwen has been found guilty beyond reasonable doubt of a number of crimes committed in the context of the four specified attacks on the IDP camps of Pajule, Odek, Kodi and Abok. attacks against the civilian population, murder, attempted murder, torture, enslavement, outrages upon personal dignity, pillaging, destruction of property, and persecution. Secondly, a number of sexual and gender-based crimes he committed against 7 women, whose names and individual stories are specified in the judgment, who were abducted and placed into his household, forced marriage, torture.
Now, that is just a few part of what he did. There are counted like 61. Initially was 70 counts of cases on Dominic Ongwen of war crime and crimes against humanity. So all this he has to answer for. But my thought, remember, here you say your thoughts. We are not the judges. We are not the anybody with power to do anything based on this. We're just sharing our thoughts. You can also go on a chat room, just give me your comments, just that we can. I will be reading your comment right out loud here. If you cannot get online, I'm seeing a lot of people trying to jump online to discuss their thoughts with us. So, Dominic Ongwen was found guilty of 61 counts. Was it reasonable? Was it fair for him? It was yes, was fair, and no, it wasn't fair. I'm not taking a stand on any side here because Dominic Ongwen was found on what he did while he was adult. He was old enough already doing all these things. Now, if you're old enough doing some certain things, you should be accountable for. But also, when we go back, we look at today's story how Dominic Ongwen joined the Lord Resistance Army. He was abducted at the age of 9 years old. That when it become contradicting because Dominic Ongwen, he deserves what he is getting, and also on the other end, he is not. More than 44,000 people came out and said what he did wrong. More than 6 women mentioned out, outlined out what Dominic Ongwen did because they were abducted and put into his. Hello? Hello? Oh, Priscilla, good evening in Ugandan time. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening to you. Particularly, I've not really been following because, anyway, I didn't just follow, but I heard about him. I heard there was some 61 cases that was posed on him, and yeah, that is all I know about him. But what I know is it's like they forced him. He didn't go willingly. They forced him, and due to the situation that he couldn't come out of, he he got annoyed with the situation,
Hmm.
and that's the little I know about him.
So, here what is Dominic Ongwen being charged of? He was a deputy of Joseph Kony right before he came out, right before he surrendered. So, and what he did, he attacked like the IDP camps in Pajule. He attacked other IDP camps where people were living, and some people died into this action. A lot of things has happened on his watch under his command. So what the ICC charged him of is what he did while he's grown up already, and they decided to cut out what he did before he was 20 and while he was under somebody else's command. So now he's faced with what he did as an adult and also what happened under his watch, because there are terrible, terrible things happened during his command, and a lot of people died in the IDP camps. And also, as they mentioned out, some people got thrown to fire. Some people were forced sex slave, and in so many ways. So, do you think was it fair for Dominic Ongwen to be serving all these sentence, all these 61 cases, uh, which is now against him? Was it reasonable for the ICC to give him all those counts of cases? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on these cases against Dominic Ongwen as an adult? Look like a lot of Presley is losing the connection here. But Okuda Francis Owen, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing, my friend? Hello, can you hear me? Francis, connection, he will talk. I'm sure he will give his thoughts. So, as I was saying before, Dominic Ongwen is church as an adult, not like he was not aware of what was going on, but he did
Yes.
all those things. Hey, we can hear you. We can hear you. So, what are your thoughts, my brother? What are your thoughts on Dominic Ongwen cases?
Uh, there is, yes.
What you can do to make your connection better sometime also, try turning off
Pardon?
your video. You can try turn off your video to make sure that the connection goes into the audio, which will make it a lot better. So I was asking, what are your
Hmm.
thoughts about Dominic Ongwen? Francis, are you still there? Hello? Yeah, I can see. I can see your connection is getting better. So my question to
Uh,
you is, what are your thoughts? As somebody is trying to get in as well,
uh,
somebody is trying to come in right now. Okay, come on, come on. What are your thoughts, my friend? As Xavier is trying to get his connection ready or to get better.
Okay.
All right. So let's get back here. Let's get back here. Now, the oldest women, they said Dominic Ongwen. Uh, hello? Hello? I'm sure you can hear me a little bit, even though your connection is not so steady. I understand. I understand that problem of the connection. You can try calling again, maybe, because if you can get into the restream, I believe calling would make it a lot more easier. I'll try calling you directly to your phone, Xavier, if that's okay with you. Anyway, yeah, let's get back as we try to get Xavier online. Xavier is trying to come online and say his thoughts. And if you're watching us from wherever you are, this is NZE Live Show. Say something about Dominic Ongwen. Say something about Dominic Ongwen. You can go live on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, and give us your thoughts. You can also go on YouTube and find us live there, and you also still can subscribe into our page so that we get to know what. But Dominic Ongwen is one of those.
At
Dominic
least
Ongwen
the
is
discussion can continue even there.
okay. Come on, Xavier. I can hear you now. I can hear you. Okay, go on, my friend. The floor is yours. The floor is yours, Francis. Okay. Now, as Francis is trying to get his connection in order, we'll keep going from here. Whenever you're ready, Francis, the floor will be yours. They had 6 women came forward and they told their story based on what happened to them. And as I said before, more than 40 people say they're witnesses. Dominic Ongwen was one of the ruthless guy in the LRA groups. That was one of the reasons why he rose to power in just a rapid pace. But if we put everything into consideration, him being one of the victims, him being abducted while he was a very little boy, 9 years old boy, should they serve all these sentences? Or should they be responsible for all these cases? The ICC said yes, based on what he did while he was an adult, because he grew up well, in his 20s. That's when he did most of this stuff. Because it was 70 cases, 9 was found to be that he was a young little boy and was under somebody else's command. That's why he had to do based on the order from above. Now, I'm going to share with you again one more thing here, which Dominic Ongwen was a part of, which I, for one, believe that Ongwen had a choice at one point of what of not to do other stuff, and he chose to do what he did anyway. Let's see, somebody else trying to come in here. Good evening, Francis. Welcome back. Hello. Hello. As Francis trying to get his connection. Let me say my thoughts now. I put everything under consideration. I believe on justice. I believe somebody should be responsible for what they did. When we look back during the war in northern Uganda for over 25 years, there are people who are responsible for those lives lost. They are responsible people for what happened to people's properties. People of Acholi, they lost almost everything. People had to leave their homes. Some kids has to kill their own parents based on the commander's rules or orders. So while all these things happening, there's somebody in charge. Now, if one of them is Dominic Ongwen, yes, then he should answer for those crimes. That is my belief. Because I believe in justice, and justice need to be served based on what you did. I understand that could have been me, that could have been somebody else out there. But if you have a higher power of 100,000 of people, anything you do, anything you tell your people to do, you should be accountable for, because that is your order. That is what you want them to do. So, yes, he should be responsible for what he did as a commander, as somebody in charge. Now, there are some other questions coming now. What if Dominic Ongwen was brainwashed because he was abducted in a very young age, at 9 years old? Was he brainwashed? That's why he couldn't think of anything good to do to the people of Acholi and Langi and other parts of northern Uganda. I believe, yeah and no, because I had somebody help me out. He was also one of the victims, but he did the right thing at one point. So I understand that there's some people who just, even if you put them in a bad situation, they'll be doing bad thing under somebody else's command. But when you give them the command to lead others, they will tend to do something better. Base doesn't matter where they are or what they went through. So if today is saying he's responsible for this 61 count of cases, and I think he should be answerable for those, because in all those aspects, somebody's life was in danger due to what he commanded, due to what he says. Now, sex or slavery, who doesn't know that he's forcing somebody to be his slave? If you agree to be having somebody in, to be your sex slave. Perhaps you know what is good and what's wrong. Then you should be responsible for that. You should answer for those. Because those six women came out and told their stories, what happened to them by by Deputy Dominic Ongwen. I still think that Ongwen knew what he was doing. What about in Pajule, in other IDP camps, where the people was burned in two houses and they closed the door? They know people are inside the house. They still close it and set them on fire. People get burned in the house. People trying to run away, they get them and throw them back into fire. Little infants thrown back into fire. This one sound like they were enjoying it. Then why shouldn't he be responsible for that? Those are what he did while he's an adult. Because we're not now talking of what he did while he was young, 10 years old, 15, 18. We're talking now while he was a commander in chief, somebody responsible, and doesn't report to anybody
Huh?
other than sharing his idea with Joseph Kony. So that is part of my thoughts. Now, if we look back, let me pull out another incident where people are not satisfied with what they said Ongwen should have not been convicted of. So when we look, uh, that Dominic Ongwen gave himself up in 2015 to the UPDF. He just said, I'm done fighting. I'm here. I want to go back home. So let's think for a second. Let's put some thought in our mind for a second. Somebody who knows that what he was doing was wrong. He killed hundreds and thousands of people. He commanded atrocity in a high scale. Just come out that I'm done killing now. I want to come back home. After he knew that there was arrest warrant on him and some of four of his friends, he still came out. I think if he did that on his will, there's something to think of. But what if he was sent just that they see what will happen before the big fish come out? Maybe the big fish told him to do so that they can see what happened. That's something we need to think about. That's something we need to first see. Because I believe people can change. Some people can change, not all of it. Not everybody can change. I think this is my thought, not a facts. He was directed to come out so that to test the water, how deep is the water before everything ends. Now, if Dominic Ongwen is found guilty of these 61 counts, what will they do next? What is the next step? That is where All eyes are now on. That is what now they are waiting to see what kind of punishment they will give to him. Because if they give the deputy, let's say imprisonment, life imprisonment, then the commander in chief might get worse. Then he will not, the commander in chief will not come out because he knows what he did by sending his deputy to come out. So now this will look like is the Coney is still going to be in the bush for, I would say, forever. If Dominic Ongwen charged, um, let's say, life imprisonment or let's say death or whatever, but why would he come out then if Dominic Ongwen get that much? Yet he was abducted. He abducted him. So this is what going to my mind. I would say, I would say about Dominic Ongwen because I wouldn't want to be near him. A lot of children back then, now they are grown ups, they still have the memory of what Dominic Ongwen did to them. Now, if they take him back to the village, I know a lot of people say amnesty, when you get amnesty, everything is good and all that. No, people will be skeptical around him. People may not welcome him as they should. Let's try welcoming Francis again, Olan. Hello, Francis. Hello. Hello, Francis. We really need to work on the connection in Uganda. People in Uganda want to give their thoughts so bad on this topic, but we cannot do that because the connection is really bad. You can go on our WhatsApp page and just write us your thoughts. I'll be able to read it. You can go on our Facebook page at NZE Foundation and leave your comments, write your thoughts on these particular topics. I'll be happy to read it out loud because this is what concerns all of us. This is what we all need to share or to discuss together. I was saying if we leave him to go back in the community, because he even shown interest that he want to go back home to practice local medicine, helping people get better using local medicine. Well, that's a good thing, and people love that because using manufactured drugs has a lot of side effects. This local medicine, they are better somehow if somebody knows to do it. And I would believe that he knows to do it because he has lived using it for so many years. But that doesn't take away people being scared of being around him. Let's be real. Will he walk around Kabule? Will he walk around Odek? Will he go around the people? He snatched their kids out of their arms. But if will he go around those kids, he tell them to kill their own children. I mean, all their parents. And what will happen to those people when they see his face? I'm not saying it's not bad to forgive and forget, but let's also think of the psychological effects on the people who will be integrating with this gentleman when he get back to the society. Because if you look on one side and say, I just let's forgive and forget, people will tend to go do it. People will tend to try to make it work for the sake of the society. What will happen? Will you still get rebel? You will be rebellious again against the soldiers. Because when they start telling that you have no power from now on, you shouldn't say anything. Will you start organizing another rebellion? So, is is it safe for people to be around him? And what I also read, so all this time because it came out in 2015, but his case just got um, conducted last Thursday. All this time, they were checking on him to see if he has any psychological problems, any mental problems. But they found out that he is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him. So perhaps he was willingly doing all what he did. Now, what can we do? What can we do? As the group of Acholi people, the group of Ugandans who went through these atrocities, those who lost their loved ones, those who lost their properties, those who suffered significantly, they have bruises, they have broken bones, they have psychological problems based on what Dominic Ongwen did to them. What can we do? And one of the Facebook page, um, they were saying Dominic Ongwen, people were sharing their views. That's what I love about it, because that's what we're trying to do here as well. What are your thoughts? Somebody was like, let's just kill him. Let's throw him to life imprisonment. So let's forgive him. Let him come back home. This is the contradicting information because, I mean, it's a very centered discussion, which everybody might have different opinions on him. Now, the religious community in Uganda or in northern Uganda are now coming together and saying Dominic Ongwen should go back to Uganda and reconcile to the people of northern Uganda, apologize to for what he did to the people of northern Uganda. What are your thoughts? What do you think about that? Is it reasonable to let him loose, or should he serve life sentence in prison, or should he be put in a death row because of what he did? I, for one, do not agree with uh, death sentence because killing him will not make any difference. It will look like, oh, justice has been served, but it's just only one guy. It's just one single guy. Killing this one guy would not erase the pain of thousands of people lost. Killing him will not satisfy even you people. Those are saying we should just kill him, should cut him up to pieces the way he did to people, or we should throw him to a burning fire, burning house, throw him in to burn alive till he die. That will not satisfy anybody. But also let him loose like he did nothing. I still don't agree with that either. Because everybody should be responsible for their deed. You did it, you serve the sentence. That's my thing. Now, how long should he stay in prison for? Rules are in place for a reason. If the rule says you did this, you have to stay in prison for this amount of time, then yeah. If for the murder case, you murder somebody, you stay in prison for 10 years, then in murder case, 10 years, then bring the other one. Sexual harassment or sexual assault or sexual slavery. How many years? This. Let's try getting somebody online. Hello, Okwara Jimmy.
Yes, please.
How are you doing, my friend? Welcome to NZE Live Show. I'm still on. How are you?
Well, I'm well, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I was still here talking of Dominic Ongwen. Dominic Ongwen, I believe you know a little
Yes.
bit about Dominic Ongwen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, here our title today is saying, say your thoughts. Say something about Dominic Ongwen. What do you have to say about Dominic Ongwen, my friend?
According to that former LRA rebel commander Dominic Ongwen, just recently we heard from the International Criminal Court or the someone of the victim in Uganda goes through. So they found him is guilty of the victim of committing crime against humanitarian in Uganda. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to say about this guy, I see the court ruling,
Mm.
eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you see, yeah, because if you see the crime he committed against the people of northern Uganda or against us in northern Uganda, those who are staying in northern Uganda. If we look at some of the crime like enslavement of the children below 18, then if we look at the way they treat people, the way they kill many people, you can see we have a lot of evidence to gather him to be found guilty. I see the court ruling is very right against the former LRA commander.
Well,
Dominic Ongwen.
so, but if you also realize that Dominic Ongwen was also young age.
Well, according to that concern, yes, well, all of us we know that Dominic Ongwen was kidnapped at the age of around 9 or 12. But when he went to the bush, I think he come back when he's around 41 year of age. But if you can see, because Dominic Ongwen doesn't have any mental problem, according to even from the
Yeah, according to the ruling.
from the ICC
Yeah.
But for him, he has no any problems. He's physically, he's a reasonable person. By that whole here, if you someone who just think because they kidnap you, he would have come back. He would have what? He would have come back with some of his colleague back home. But when
Yeah.
he see the situation getting worse with his one, with his focus, Mr. Joseph Cohen, he start like saying, for me, I decided to come back, which is not right. So I see there's no enough evidence for a man to say that for him he just kidnapped as a young boy, because if you see what he did as a commander of those uh, national register movement, LRA, you see it is very, 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 very convenient. So me, according to me, I see when, and if I was also the judge, I would find him guilty because of what they did in Uganda. It's so, so sad.
Okay. So, but if you also looked, Dominic Ongwen decided to surrender. He decided to come out eh, from Central Africa, just saying, I'm done fighting. I want to come back home. Do you have any sympathy based on that? Him coming home willingly? Do
Oh, hello?
Yeah, yeah. Hello? Do you think that, do you have any
Yeah,
sympathy
yeah.
based on that?
Yes, please. Sorry?
Do you have any sympathy based on Dominic Ongwen coming out as a, that he said he stopped fighting in
Wait,
2015?
I'm here.
Anyway, the next
Come
question,
again?
my question was, do you, as a person,
Yeah.
as an individual, do you have any sympathy on Dominic Ongwen, him coming out willingly without anybody catching him? Do you have any sympathy based on that? Do you think he came out at his own will? Do you have any thought about that? It looked like Jimmy having some
Yeah, yeah.
internet
Yeah, I
connection
got you.
problems. Perhaps we should try going back in the audio, because that was helping.
Question.
That was good on the audio.
Answer is
Uh, anyway, that was Okwera Jimmy from Uganda, and he was giving his thoughts, and he's trying to come back in. He didn't answer all the questions, but Jimmy is saying the ICC ruling is fair and just. It's just unfair. So anyway, Jimmy, welcome back. We had a disconnection. We are disconnected from the call.
are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you perfectly. So, Jimmy,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
my question was still standing about Dominic Ongwen coming out willingly. What are your thoughts on that? Anything you can say about that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, according to about me, I see Dominic Ongwen coming out from the bush willingly. It's the right decision, but he come out just because his boss their leader, Joseph Kony, turned against some of his commander. If you, I think you hear also Vincent of Tiwo, what happened to him. Then next was Dominic Ongwen, and the other, yes, next was Dominic Ongwen and the other commander of Jambo. They were not in good terms with him.
So you believe? So you believe that Dominic Ongwen came home in the process of him running away from Joseph Kony, because Joseph Kony is not agreeing with them. Okay, so that's what you believe Dominic Ongwen came out for. So he traded that to face the ICC at least.
That guy come because of this.
Well, that's a very good thought, Jimmy. That's a very good thought. So if you have to look, so now if it's you, Jimmy, how many years would you say Dominic Ongwen should serve in? Because the ICC hasn't heard out how many years they want Dominic Ongwen to be in prison for, or what sentence exactly should he serve. If if it's you, what do you think? What do you think?
What I was meaning. Okay, then we have evidence people who escape from them. Yeah. Yes.
So Jimmy here is saying that Dominic Ongwen, based on the history how Joseph Kony was treating his commanders, his deputies, the connection is kind of interrupting a little bit, Jimmy. So I'm trying to phrase out what you just said. So based on what how Kony was treating his deputies, Dominic Ongwen ran for his life to leave the bush, and enter into the ICC willingly, at least to be alive. So that was Jimmy's thought based on why Dominic Ongwen came out. He did not come out because he is tired of fighting. He just came out because his boss is not a good boss anymore. That why Dominic Ongwen came out. That's what Jimmy said from Uganda. And what about your thoughts, you the listeners? Go on our NZE Facebook page, give us your thoughts. Go on our website, go on our email. You can go on my phone number is right there on WhatsApp. Please contact us. Let's know your thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts. Just that we get the feeling of being united, and as justice is being served based on what happened to the people of northern Uganda by Dominic Ongwen. Today is specifically on Dominic Ongwen and what he did and how he did all those things and why he did all those things. So, was it true that Dominic Ongwen ran out of Kony to come to the ICC at least to survive? Or was Dominic Ongwen just was sent by Joseph Kony to come out to see how the ICC will treat him? Or Dominic Ongwen just was tired of fighting. He just wanted to come back home and stay free. So this leaves us in dilemma. We do not know what to do. Now, I'm going to sum up here. It was a very long discussions, and please, this topic we'll keep coming back to it. And if you have any thoughts, anytime, any moment, go on our Facebook page, go on our WhatsApp page, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Let's hear from you. I'll be happy to read your thoughts and your comments in the next episode next week. So go on our Facebook page and like, share our page, and on our YouTube channel, subscribe, just that we stay connected. Go to our email address and send us your thoughts and us what you think. NZE Foundation is working to collect the data, to collect the information they need to go back to Uganda and help those who need the help mental, mentally, basically. Because we have a lot of people, they are fighting mental illness right now due to the war which was in northern Uganda. So how can we help? How can we help as NZE Foundation? We want these people getting help, just that they get back to the society with a clear mind, for them to look to the future, what their future could be like. They did not want to be what they are, but they had to do what they did or to live the life they're in right now because they were put in a situation where they have no control of. And the people responsible, one of them is now put uh, in front of the Justice Department in the International Criminal Court. That was Mr. Dominic Ongwen, which was found guilty of 61 counts of war crime and crimes against humanity of northern Uganda. The book of Abducted will be coming out this year, where it will tell us in detail what really happened in the bush. What did the commanders in the bush did to the young girls and boys? What they made them do to the people in the society in northern Uganda and other parts of Uganda. Also outside Uganda, like Southern Sudan, DRC, Congo, Central Africa, the book Abducted into the Bush will tell us in detail. Stay tuned. My name is Jimmy, yours. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys next week in a similar topic of other commanders who are back home. Did they serve any justice when they came back home based on what they did? We'll find out next week. Have a wonderful day.